Yo, what is up, guys? We are back for another video on Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle. Now, what I want to do in this video today, so I did not want to just not acknowledge the existence of this unit. So LR Goku and Frieza, as we know at this point, getting their EZA, right? As you can see there, February 22nd, 2021. So today, right? I believe that dropped today at the time of this recording. So, by the way, I did have a video lined up yesterday. I was so dissatisfied with the quality of it that I just decided to scrap it. I hope you guys understand. I don't want to just crap out content, right? Even if it's, you know, not good or not what I want or whatever. So I hope you guys can forgive me, but I am doing my best to bring you guys lots of content, right? Anyway, I didn't want to just not acknowledge these guys. So these guys are ridiculous, right? So this is actually before their EZA. So we can kind of see the differences here. So they basically, you can see here, they used to just lower attack and then lower attack and defense on their 12 and 18 key respectively. They used to get only attack buffs. And now they're getting, well, they had one defensive buff. But now, if we kind of take a look here, so they raise defense on their super attacks, and then they also get this attack and defense 77% when performing an ultra super attack. That used to be just attack, right? And now it's easier to activate this last part of their passive when the target enemy is an attack down, defense down, stunned, or sealed. They get an additional 77% attack. And then also, just for the cherry on top, up to 7 key. Key plus 1 at the start of each turn. So they're going to be good in short events. They're going to be good in long events. The early reports on this unit, possibly the best unit in the game. They definitely, unquestioned, undoubtedly hit the hardest. Undoubtedly, it's not even close. You know, full rainbow, level 10 links, that type of thing. By the way, if you guys have them, I would seriously recommend at least grinding their links up a little bit. They are so ridiculously powerful. They're going to help you through any single event. So they're getting these, also just keep in mind, they're getting these monster attack stats with SA 25, dogs. So, oh, they're just outlandish, right? But anyway, what I want to do in this video, why you clicked on this video, is I want to go over not a top 10 this time, because I think top 10 there are so many summonable LRs in this game that, I don't know, we could really start to go off on some tangents. I'm going to try to keep it as concise as I can. I think I want to go top 5 LRs, summonable LRs, let's preface that. Top 5 summonable LRs that need EZA to kind of keep up with today's meta. So let's go ahead and start with number 1, probably the most obvious. LR STR Broly. Now this guy has a very, very bad, just very negative reputation, and honestly, pretty much well-deserved, I would say. You guys can see he came out 4 years ago, essentially, or close to 4 years ago. A global first only by 6 days. Check that out. A little before my time on this game, but if we take a look at what he does, so number 1, his leader skill, trash, right? Not even good for Battlefield these days. There are just so many other options that you can run other than just a 90% leader. So with all of the EZAs, I mean, for the monotype leaders, I mean, you guys get it, right? There are just a ton of options that you would rather run than this guy. Unless you had no one else, you wouldn't bring this guy into Battlefield or something. But if we look at what he does, he's not doing anything on his super attack, right? That is on his 12 and 18 key. So he causes colossal damage to all enemies. So I guess you could say he's an AoE unit, right? And he is, I don't want to say he's the World Tournament King, but he is still very effective in the World Tournament just because he gets guaranteed additional super attacks. So when performing a super attack, attack plus 80,000, but defense minus 20,000, and launch an additional super attack. So every time he launches a super, he's losing 20,000 defense. If we look at his defense here, it's at 13,000. He essentially, not quite, but he essentially goes down to like 0 defense, right? It's very, very bad the way his card is designed. This was just during a different time of the game, right? Now, obviously, none of his links will change. You know, SA, the only thing that will change is his SA level, and of course his leader skill, super attack effects, and passive. This would be my ideal Broly. My ideal Broly is, let's just say, I definitely want to keep the AoE, and I would definitely say on his 12 key super, let's have him raise defense. I mean, let's keep it simple, or you could say greatly raise defense. And then on his 18 key, you're sacrificing the AoE, but now you can greatly raise attack and defense. You could just say probably just a normal raise because of his big LR stats. He still does have, if we check it out here, he's got almost 14,000 defense, so you could say a raise or a great raise. Probably it would just be a raise, right? Because of what I want to do in his passive. Keep in mind, so if you get his 18 key super, and then he gets a guaranteed additional super attack, he's going to be hitting very, very hard on that AoE. So instead of doing this attack plus 80,000, defense minus 20,000, dude, get rid of that defense minus 20,000. I'm okay with him being a when performing a super attack type of unit. That is okay. Remember, he's going to benefit a lot from support type units when you get attack on super. So kind of like STR Kefla, right? Fizz Beerus, they get attack on super attack, right? So they're going to benefit a lot from support type units, and on his teams, there are plenty of support units, right? For sure. Well, actually, now that I think about it, you could definitely find some, right? But regardless, get rid of the flat buff. Very, very obvious, right? Get rid of the flat buff. And just make it 100%. Like, how about just attack? You could say attack plus 80%, and then defense 80%. It's very, very easy, right? That's all you have to do. And then you get that guaranteed launch of a super attack. And I think this guy becomes incredibly strong. Imagine you get this guy 3 super attacks, because he does have the capability of getting 3. You activate 1 from his passive and then 1 from his hidden potential. Just imagine the amount of damage this dude would shell out. This guy does have the bones to be very, very good. So I think it seems to you guys probably pretty obvious who's going to be on this list, but I am going to maybe throw in an honorable mention at the end. But let's go ahead and move on to number 2. So for me, this guy is sitting there at number 2. This is Fizz Lr Trunks. Now, Fizz Lr Trunks, I think probably, I don't want to say he's as good or as bad as anyone thinks they are. Let me know what you think of Fizz Lr Trunks in the comments below. But I think this guy clearly, like if you look at what he does, he just clearly needs a little tiny bit more, right? So he causes colossal damage to the enemy, raises defense by 30% for 3 turns, causes mega colossal damage to the enemy, and raises defense by 30% for 3 turns. So he's doing the same thing, except getting a little bit more damage from his 12 to 18 key super, right? So, and then if we look at his passive, attack plus 120%, that is good. That's very strong, by the way. And then a high chance to perform a critical hit. The only problem I see with this guy, he actually would benefit a lot from the link leveling system. All of these units having legendary power, definitely going to benefit, because that's a very powerful link now. Unfortunately, he gets the shaft of shattering the limit, right? So he's not going to get those that monster 20% attack link from Fierce Battle. But I suppose all of these other links, I guess he would benefit a lot. For sure, he would. Getting extra attack and defense from, extra defense from Shocking Speed. The little buff from Super Saiyan, certainly. A lot of defense from that Cold Judgment link, so that can definitely be good. And you can definitely activate that on like Battle of Wits, Bound of Master and Disciple. You can activate that Cold Judgment link a lot. So he again, another unit I feel like he's got the bones of being good, right? And he has this high chance, or a 50% chance of performing a critical hit. So that's obviously very, very strong. So if you kind of look at it this way, like you have, so like I feel like God Goku is a good example of like what an EZA for this guy could look like, right? So he's got a great raise of attack and defense, right? He's got a great raise of attack and defense on his 18 key super. I believe he stacks that for 6 turns. I will fact check that for you guys. But, you know, again, that is sort of, or no, is it? It's a 3-turn raise, excuse me. It's a 3-turn raise of attack and defense, a great raise. So 3 turns, I feel like for this guy, if you want him to be even, I would make it 6 turns, dude. I like that little 3-turn raise that God Goku does, but considering God Goku also dodges, he's got that 50% chance to dodge. I feel like you could kind of balance this guy around God Goku. And remember, we're talking about a summonable LR EZA, so he better be goddamn busted. Don't hold back on him, right? Causes mega colossal damage and then greatly raises attack and defense by 6 turns. Or excuse me, for 6 turns. So that would be a 50% raise for 6 turns. And then you could just say raises defense on his 12 key. I think that would be really, really good for him. You could say Great Raise in defense too. Why not? And then give him the equal amount of defense, and I think that's very, very simple, right? Their Lord knows what they're going to do in terms of secondary effects on their passive, like, you know, stunning, sealing, that type of thing, but I think that this guy would definitely benefit from an EZA. He's just aged, right? If we look at how old he is, yeah. I mean, August 17th, 2017, so this guy came out a little bit after STR Broly. Actually, well after on the global side of the game. But let's go ahead and move on to number 3. All right, so this is number 3, probably on a lot of people's lists. So this is LR Trunks and Goten, aka LR Mighty Mask, right? When they drop as an SSR, they are actually in the Mighty Mask version, right? So February 22nd of 2018. So this unit is actually exactly 3 years old. So definitely aged quite a bit. So these guys, rather, they need some work, right? So you have a 50% chance for either fat Gotenks or skinny Gotenks. Unfortunately, I feel like we're stuck with this, right? And that's between their 12 and 17 key super attack. I think we're probably stuck with that. But dude, please get rid of this lowering own attack and lowering own attack and defense. That's absolutely absurd. Why would you make a unit like that? You do not incentivize the 12 key super at all in any way. So if they don't activate this big part of their passive where they get key plus 3 to 9, if they don't get 9 key, or if they don't get, you know, 6 or 7 key at least, they're getting their 12 key super, and that hurts a lot. So please, you have to get rid of that. They need an EZA so bad. They are damn near unusable. Even though they have monster LR stats, it does not matter, dude. And honestly, a category like youth and special pose, rapid growth, they need a unit like this. You could even argue Hybrid Saiyans. Well, Hybrid Saiyans actually just got that monster in Tech Gohan, but even still, man, Fusion, you know, if you make this unit a little more defensive based, Fusion could use a really strong defensive unit. But like, dude, what you do is this is all you do. You just reverse it from lowering own attack to just raising own attack. So just raise attack if you get fat Gotenks, and then raise attack and defense if you get skinny, or you could say vice versa, or you could say raise attack and defense for both of them. It's just like, it sucks. I hate units that have so much RNG in their passive, right? So like, and then if we look at their 18 key, a 70% chance for SS1 Gotenks and a 30% chance for SS3 Gotenks. This is fine because they're raising defense, right? This is fine. Just maybe bump that up to a great raise for one turn and we're good. Those can stay. Those are fine because you're raising defense there. That is big for an LR, especially when they do not have a defensive buff. So again, this attack 120% you see a lot on these LRs. Just match it with defense, man, and all of a sudden, again, you combine it with SA25. A lot of these units, they need a lot of help, but it's just subtle tweaks. You guys see what I'm saying? Like, they're profound changes. The simplest change to the card makes such a profound change on the performance of the card. So please, for the love of God, give these guys their EZA next. But anyway, let's move on to number 4. So this is quite possibly the LR I've pulled the most times ever in this game. I think I currently have 2 or 3 copies sitting in my box. He is fully rainbowed, and I have Babad copies. I think I've probably pulled him a dozen times, which for just kind of like a moderate, like little dolphin that I am, it's kind of a lot, right? You don't like seeing this guy so much, but he's still like he's still a pretty solid card. There's a very, you know, pretty consistent, right? 2017, a lot of these LRs are just getting old, right? Like it's just the nature of gachas. These units don't age well unless you give them defense, you know, at least in Dokkan, right? So this is, of course, LR Majin Vegeta. One thing I didn't mention for any of these units is their leader skills. So leader skills, I think you could do something very, very interesting. Okay, hear me out here. If you start buffing their leader skills like a lot, you could really change the landscape of the game, I think personally, in a very positive way. What if you made him AGL type key 3, 150 percent to stats, and then all of a sudden, you've got this unit. Yes, it does kind of de-incentivize like a lot of the mono leaders. I do get that part because they've already established a precedent for the monotype leaders. So I do get that part, but could you imagine? Like, you could kind of introduce low-key a little bit of a new meta, and maybe it could open up a little bit of freshness to the game. Do you guys remember how much fun it was? I mean, I had a lot of fun in the mono meta. I had a great time running mono AGL, mono tech. You know, some of the better teams in the game. When I entered the game, I think it was slightly before LR, Goku, and Frieza. You know, coincidentally, actually. A little before Goku and Frieza. I think I remember summoning on several banners, just as a free-to-play noob, right? And pulling the unit, like, within the first couple multis and be like, oh yeah, this game's sweet. Like, I remember pulling MVP 17, like, very, very early on. Like, I think first or second multi. And I don't know, he's the one that comes to mind. I don't know if that was the very first banner I summoned on, but of course Android 17 came before Goku and Frieza, right? Anyway, Goku and Frieza was the first banner I ever got shafted on, you know, quote-unquote shafted, because I didn't know the ridiculous odds of pulling LRs, right? But anyway, let's continue. This guy is very interesting. So he's one of few units in the game that causes mega colossal damage on his 12 key super. That's very interesting, right? So I do like this. So you want to know what would be really cool, though? Raise his 18 key to mega colossal. Could you imagine? Imagine his 18 key super, that final explosion, doing mega colossal damage, dude. Again, you take this card that I don't want to say is completely and utterly unusable, but he's literally got nothing for defense. Not even any of his links really offer him any defense. Not really, right? I'm trying to think. Yeah, do any of them? No, man, he got completely shattering the limit will offer him 5% defense, right? And that's it? I think so. I'd have to double check that, but anyway, you guys can see he's not getting much defense from links. So you could definitely say cause mega colossal damage. Up that to, like, honestly, like a high chance to stun. Medium chance is, to me, is not, you don't see it all that often. It's a 30% chance. It's just, it's not that great. What you could do is maybe make the 12 key a high chance to stun the enemy, and then you can make the 18 key a medium chance to stun the enemies, right? All of the enemies. I think that seems to me like a fair trade-off, and again, make that mega colossal damage. I think that would be completely fine, and if you wanted to go crazy, you could make them raise defense on super. I really like that they did that on Goku and Frieza. It makes them just incredibly top tier, right? And then you could go ahead and just leave him as a second slot unit. So attack plus 150% when performing a super attack is fine. But then just, I don't know, man. Give him some start of turn defense, right? Give him 100% defense start of turn. Again, maybe you have him raise super attack, or excuse me, raise defense on both super attacks. I would really, really like that, because he needs defensive help. He's not getting much from links. And, you know, this is another unit, dude, that he's on some really, really interesting categories. Like, no one's really running him on final trump card. Connected hopes. Oh, yeah. Oh, baby. Well, that's sweet category, right? Mind and body erosion, all out struggle. So some of these categories, man, they're going to need a unit like Majin Vegeta to get a big-time EZA to make the category relevant again. That's all these categories. Well, that's not all they need, but some of these categories, man, if they just get like a top-tier LR, they become meta again, right? Like, because people want to use the new units. So anyway, guys, let's go ahead and move on to the 5th and final slot, and I think I'll maybe throw in like one honorable mention. All right, so this is going to be my honorable mention. Now, you guys might be surprised by this, that they did not make my top 5. Now, are they just outside of the top 5? Sure, yeah, they're probably just outside the top 5, between the 5 and 10 range. But guys, I recently just rainbowed these guys and grinded their links, and I just did a showcase. I believe it was actually my last video, so if you guys want to, go ahead and check that out. But, dude, they're unbelievably strong. To this day, they are unbelievably strong. The problem is I don't know how you really balance them other than giving them the same exact thing. Just give them defense. That's all you do to this unit. So, and then, of course, again, we know my idea for the leader skill. Honestly, like, their defense it wasn't even that bad because they're a Big Bad Bosses unit. You know, they have some links here that, like, are actually decent. So specifically Big Bad Bosses, right? Prepared for battle, giving them a little bit of defense as well. But, I mean, they were sitting anywhere between, you know, with enough support on rotation, they were at 150k defense, and it's because they stack defense for 6 turns. So if you wanted to make them crazy, you keep everything the same, but give them attack and defense with each attack received. If you want to be quirky and say, hey, recover 20% HP at the start of turn, I mean, that's absurd, but sure, go ahead. And then if you, on their super attack, you know, again, you can honestly just keep it the same. They're really, really ridiculously strong. And the teams they're on actually have some very good support units. So specifically these first 4 have some mega top tier support units. So they were my honorable mention. So let's go ahead and move on to number 5. All right, so y'all could probably guess this one was coming as well. I still really adore LR Gohan. Unfortunately, he was hard replaced, unfortunately, right, by the Tech LR Super Saiyan 2 Gohan. But that is okay, because again, if you kind of buff up their leader skill a little bit and you make, again, you kind of change the landscape of the meta a little bit, I think that would be a nice little breath of fresh air for a lot of players. And this guy can see some action, you know, not just collect dust in the box, right? I guess the difference is this guy's not on Movie Heroes, and the Tech LR Gohan is. But this guy, his EZA is incredibly simple. So again, give him, we know about the leader skill, my proposed leader skill idea, right? Make him, so for his 12 key super, make him raise attack and defense, and then on his 18 key, greatly raise attack and defense. It's, again, the skeleton is already there, and then for his passive skill, attack and defense plus 20% for every key sphere obtained. Boom. Good to go. I think if you wanted to give them, a small, a very small, like 40% attack and defense, I'm okay with that. But dude, you guys know how hard this motherfucker hits already. Like again, him being a fierce battle unit, Super Saiyan, Kamehameha, legendary power, like dude, this guy hits still insanely hard. And then of course you keep that key +1 whenever key is raised with key spheres. The quote-unquote the LR Gohan mechanic that makes these LRs so incredibly powerful. So incredibly powerful. Boo Tanks, STR Super Vegito, who else am I missing? Tech LR Gohan. A lot of units have it now. And it just makes them so much better when they're when they are self-sufficient on keys. So again, a category like Miraculous Awakening, All Out Struggle, Exploding Rage, like even Android Cell Saga, man, the Android Cell Saga needs the help. I think that, you know, some other things that they could do with some of these units is you slap on a support type ability. If you make some of them support type units, again, if you want to throw, you know, 20% attack and defense to all allies on like Majin Vegito or in LR Gohan, I mean, dude, would you hear me complaining? Hell no. And then of course a little bit of key, maybe 2 key. Of course not. And that's going to make their staying power even longer, because you want these EZAs, because when you EZA a summonable LR, that's it. When you EZA any unit, that's it. I mean, they can't get any better unless you're going to grind their links up. Like, think of it, poor free-to-play STR kid Gohan, right? He'll never get any better. AGL Piccolo, he'll never get any better, because they already have EZAs. You know, the Dokkan Festival STR Broly, right? That has the same exact damn super attack as the LR, right? So stupid. Revamp that guy's super attack, by the way. But that guy will unfortunately never get any better. So when you make these EZAs, you have to make them busted. And if you look at the way they made LR Goku and Frieza, there is no telling how powerful they can make some of these units. But guys, this video is long enough. If you enjoy this type of video, leave me some feedback by slapping a like. Or if you didn't like it, slap a dislike. Or just let me know in the comments below what you think. I'd love to hear your guys' opinion on your top 5 LRs that need EZAs, because again, Int UI Goku gets his EZA, LR Goku and Frieza gets their EZA. There's absolutely no rules in terms of EZAs these days. But guys, I'm going to wrap it up here. Slap a like, subscribe if you're new. Almost to 500 subs. Catch you in the next one. Later.